Good morning, guys, and welcome to BigG Bassin. Been talking to some of you out there, and you've asked for a how-to video. So I thought this morning I would do a how-to on tying 3 common knots used in bass fishing. So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to demonstrate for you how to tie a Palomar knot, a cinch knot, and an Alberto knot. So let's get to it. So this first knot is the Palomar knot. This is the knot that I use to tie on 95% of the time because it is it's one of the strongest knots that you can tie, and it puts the least amount of stress on the actual line itself. And so to tie the Palomar knot, I've got just fluorocarbon line right here, and so to start, you want to take and put just a loop at the end your line right there, and then feed that line through the eye of your bait. Here I'm demonstrating this with this Fishing 4.5 jig. Now, once you've got that loop fed through the eye of the bait, you want to make sure that it's a pretty good loop on the other end, and so then you can take the main line and tag end of it right here and pinch those together, and take the loop end on this side of the bait and come across and just do a half hitch knot, kind of like just like you were tying your shoe. Okay, and once you have that tied like that, you don't want to cinch it down right here, because this is where you're going to take that loop end right here, and you want to put it around the bait, or put the bait through that loop. Okay, just like so. And at this point now is when you want to moisten your line before you cinch it down. Okay, so once you have that moistened, then you can just take both the main line and tag in on this side, and just pull that down. Now, and once you get down to that point, and if you've got a little bit of, and that starts to get snug, you got a little bit of loop still there, just grab that tag end and pull to cinch that thing on down and pull it down tighter. Okay, and once you get to that point, to there, all you have to do then at that point is take your scissors or clippers and cut that tag end of the line off, just like that. Make sure you're cutting the tag end and not your main line, because that does happen sometimes. So just like that, that's all there is to it for the Palomar knot, and it's one of the strongest knots out there. I use it 95% of the time, like I said, for all of my baits. Okay, so now moving on to the cinch knot. Okay, this is a very common knot as well. It's a relatively easy knot to tie, and I use this knot most of the time when I'm tying on to, if I'm rigging a Carolina rig, and it's that second part that's tied onto the swivel. It's hard to tie a Palomar knot there, so I use the cinch knot to do that. I'm going to demonstrate that this morning with, again, with fluorocarbon line and a number 4 aught Gamakatsu hook here. So you do the cinch knot. Start by just taking your main line and threading it through the eye of your bait or your hook, just like so. And once you get that threaded through there, then you're going to take and just rotate your bait or your hook 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then take the end, and at the top of the eye you have a loop or that's created there, and you want to take the end of your line and feed it back through that loop at the top of the bait or hook. Okay, and when you do that, you create a second loop. and then you're going to take that line and feed it back through that second loop that you created, so that you have both your main line and your tag end in the same hand mount, just like so. Alright, and it's at this point that you want to moisten your line again before cinching it down and pulling it tight, just like that. Okay, now then, just like with the Palomar knot, the last thing would be to take your scissors and trim that little tag line, that little tag end off, like that. Okay, and that's your cinch knot. Again, pretty easy, strong knot, and a good knot to use. Like I said, I use it on the Carolina rig. Okay, so for the last knot that I'll demonstrate for you here is the Alberto knot. This knot is used when you are wanting to join two lines together, say, and I'm going to demonstrate here with if you're using a braided line as your main line and you want to tie on a fluorocarbon leader or a monofilament leader, and you need to join these two lines together. So to do that, I like to take and with my leader or my fluorocarbon in this case, and put a loop in the fluorocarbon line, just like so, and then take my braid, which is my main line, and come up from the bottom through that loop and pull enough line through there that I can wrap. It's going to be a total of 10 wraps around the fluorocarbon, but pull it through there and then pinch the line at the end like so, and then I'm going to wrap that thing 5 times going up. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then once I've got that wrapped 5 times, I want to take now and I want to pinch that end of the knot, okay, because I'm going to wrap now going back up that line 5 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then, at this point, I'm wanting to make sure that the way that I fed this main line through that loop to start with, that I take this tag end back through that loop in the same direction. So I'm going to take then and feed that loop, or feed that tag end back down through that loop, just like so. Okay, and then now I have both of my lines going through that loop from the same direction, and at this point I need to just moisten my line before cinching it down, and then just pull those two lines away from each other and cinch that down, just like so. Alright, and then all I have left is to trim my tag ends. Just like that, and that is a really strong Alberto knot right there, joining those two lines together. All right, so that's it. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and let's go fishing.